Hello, YouTube. All right, here it is, part 2. This part is going to be pretty exciting, I think. I think it's the real development of who I am. I feel like it is the stepping stone for me to discover who I am. Right? And I know as we go on this spiritual journey, there's just going to be so many dimensions, so many layers to who we are. In this phase of my life was a layer that I had to pull back. Because we are like the onion, right? We're like the onion. There's so many different variables to our soul. So many different dimensions that make up who we are. So here we go. I do believe it was in September. I saw him in August. So my children's father. I was 18 at the time. I lied and I said I was 19 to him, but I was only 18. I was living in my apartment. My auntie just passed away. And I wasn't living a very good way. Like, I was drinking a lot, doing drugs. And I don't know if I told you guys in the last part. I don't think I did. The reason why I even started doing drugs, I need y'all to know right now that I was enrolled in university. I was working at Staples call center. I was probably my mom was so proud of me, right? Like, I got out of high school, I started working. I was working even throughout high school. But I kept myself busy and focused, right? And then I was at work one evening and my mom, and I know that this is probably something that she'll always, like, my mom's no longer here. But I can guarantee you that was something that, because she told me, like, living, right? That was her biggest regret. So I'm at work and I get a phone call at work and she said, when you get home, now mind you guys, I'm 18, okay? When you get home, you need to call your dad. My dad is Michael Ironchild. My dad lives with you. So why would I call my dad? I was like, you're funny, Mom. And then she takes a deep breath, right? And I was like, anyways, okay, I'm done my break. I'll see you when I get home. And I thought about it for a minute. I was like, she's so funny, right? I was like, oh, my mom's so funny. And I go back to work and I finish 10. I get home by 10:15. And I walk into her room. And how was work? And I told her it's good, blah, 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 right? And I was like, why would you call me at work and tell me to call Dad? And my dad's sitting right beside her and I grab his big toe, right? I was like, he's right here. And then she goes, Tani. I was like, what? She's like, your biological dad. I was like, what? So my mom is Native. My biological mother is Native. My biological father is Jamaican. My mom found my dad, who is he's not my bio dad, but he's my goddamn dad, Michael. They started dating when I was 6. Sam was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7. That's the only man that I've known. There was one other person that my mom was with from, like, that's who I know as my dad too, Ricky Cody. My mom was with him for fucking years, right? He passed away. They broke up because my mom, there's a lot of issues there, right? I'm not going to get into that, spill the beans on all of that. He's no longer living, so I just want to be respectful of people's, energy and time. But my mom was with him, and that's who I remember until my dad came into my life, okay? So, when she said that at 18 years old, I was like, what the fuck? And I wasn't living at her house, but she told me to stop there before I went home, right? Because I had my own place. And so I was like, what are you talking about? And she said, George. And I was like, oh, hell no. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. There was a piece, and anyone who has step parents, and then like anybody who's in my scenario, you know that there's a piece of you that's missing. Okay, like all of my life, I knew my mom. I was exactly like her. But there was another part of me that I didn't know. And it was always a battle. It was always a battle because I would see my Black community and I wasn't Black enough for them. I was told that my grandmother highly disliked biracial children. That's why she had nothing to do with me. But was in my cousin Chantel's life because she was full Black, right? Like, and you could tell she's very Black, right? And so I just had this negative narrative towards my Black side. So I did very much take my Native side growing up. My sisters were powwow dancers. I was the jigger of the family. And we were raised in our traditional Native side. So when she told me this at 18 years old, that my biological father reached out, there was a part of me that was like, it was every emotion. I can't even lie to you guys. It was every single emotion. I was angry. I was sad. I was excited. I was happy. Everything all at once, right? So I go home to my, because I only live 2 blocks from my mom. I go home and I called him and I left a message and then he called me. Yes. I left a message and then he called me back. And hearing his voice, it sounded exactly what I thought that it would sound like. He told me how much he loved me and he always thought of me. And that's when any energy that I had towards him of like excitement and happiness, it totally changed. Because I knew he was lying. Like, how come you found me literally, like, what is this? 2 months? This was like in January or February, 2 months after my 18th birthday. Like, that's weird, right? And I'm not even trying to throw any shade or anything, but he thought, I know, he thought, now I can go into her life. She's 18. Tanya's mom can't come after me for child support, right? I know that's what he thought. Jamaican, back in the 90s, you know what I mean? How they were back in the day, making babies everywhere, not giving a fuck. And I don't give a shit. There's too many in my family where I see that, how Jamaican men came to Canada, made all these kids. Some of them did stick and raise their kids, right? Most of them did not, and I was one of them that did not, okay? He ended up getting deported, which is another beautiful, amazing story that I feel I'll share at another time. So he calls me and he says, you know, I tried to get a hold of you, and just bullshit. So now this love that I felt for this man quickly turned into anger, right? And I was trying to keep it together. And on top of that, my sister, my one that passed away, she was in jail at this time. And so she was my like emotional support for everything, right? Like I would talk to her about everything. And so that made me really sad as well, that she wasn't around, right? So anyways, I get off the phone with him. He calls me again. He says, I'm going to send you some money. He sent me money. I was like, thank you. He's like, I know it's not going to make up for all the years, but this is what I can do for you and blah, 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 right? I was like, thank you. Then we were talking every now and then, and I could just feel like something's going to happen, right? So then he calls again and he says, I sent you, it's like $2,200 or something like that, money order, but I need you to give your brother Anthony and your sister Hillary some money. Nigga, what? What? First of all, I don't talk to you for motherfucking 18 years. You come in giving me change, okay? Honestly, change. And now you want me to send money to 2 of your other motherfucking kids that I don't even, what? Oh, I was annoyed, right? Then on top of that, I would have done it. I really would have if he never did this part. Then he proceeds to tell me, I was like, who is that? Then he proceeds to tell me the relation, like my brother. Well, now I'm annoyed because it was that brother's mom She was a hooker, lady of the night. He was pimping her out or whatever. She was the reason why I was left without diapers when I was 18 months old. He came and took my mom's check and he went and spent it on her. Because she just found out that she was pregnant. Not just found out, they already knew, but the baby was coming, right? So that baby, my brother, needed shit. So my dad stole from my mom, stole from one of his children to give to another, right? And so now that memory's coming up as he's telling me about this brother, like send him money. And then he was telling me about Hillary. She's some white lady's kid in Toronto, right? And I was like, don't know her, don't know him. I'm actually more annoyed than anything. And then he goes, you know, I would have been in your life if it wasn't for your mom. Oh, bitch, don't talk about my mom. Don't talk about my mom. He goes, you know the reason why I got deported, right? I was like, don't talk about my mom. And yes, I knew the story. I knew, right? And that's why I was so, like, annoyed. So before he could even talk, I told him, I said, I'm the exact same as my mom. Anybody fucks with me. When I have children, you can fuck with me all you want. But as soon as you fuck with my kids, you're going to see a very ugly side of me. And that's what happened to him. He took from me and my sisters, took from my mom. So my mom brought out the horns. Yes, she got him deported. Yes, she did. And for good fucking reason too. Wasn't like assault charges or anything like that. Far worse. Far worse. Robbery and shit, like, yeah, bad stuff. And so he was trying to put the blame on my mom, and I was not having that. So I went to pick up the money order. I blocked his phone number and I took the money, and I didn't send Hillary or my brother any money. And I told my mom, I said, I'm mad. I said, but I should give them this money. And my mom said, you do what you want, my girl. She goes, I want you sit with this, you feel it. And then I started crying and I was like, no, fuck them. I don't know them. Why are you trying to make me give money to complete strangers? Like, you've never even been in my motherfucking life. And I just went off, right? Long story short, I did not give them the money. Should have I? Maybe. I did talk to him after that. He's like, Tanya, you're the oldest. Why wouldn't you give your brother blah, 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 right? Why wouldn't you give your siblings their money? And I said, why are you only calling me now when I'm 18? And then not only are you calling me now when I'm 18, but you're trying to talk shit about my mom, who raised the woman, who's in university, has her own place, has her license, has a vehicle, good head on her fucking shoulders. You're trying to talk shit about my mom, and then you call me to ask me to give these kids the reason my mom was even mad at you in the first place. You're asking me to give that kid money? Fuck you, George. Fuck you and all your motherfucking kids. I don't want nothing to do with you. And I stopped talking to him. And I haven't spoke to him since, and I won't. I have no desire to. He's done nothing for me other than give my mom the beautiful gift of me, which is like, great, thank you, I appreciate you, I'm here. I'm very grateful for that because I have a motherfucking job to do. But I don't fuck with you. I don't. I have no connection. My dad is my dad, which is my mom's husband, which is Michael, right? That's my dad. And so that is how I got into doing dark things. Okay. So now we're going to fast forward it. Probably, I want to say like 8 months. Okay. So that was around February. So now I end up moving from that house that I was living in. And I ended up moving to a place on 4th Avenue in Regina. Okay. And I'm in a basement suite apartment. My cousin is in the apartment above me. That's why I moved to this basement suite, because he's like, hey, cuz, it's cheaper. You're underneath me, blah, 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 blah. Right? So I go and I move there. I was only doing like drinking alcohol and snorting cocaine at the time, right? But quickly after, when I moved into, now I need you guys to know, like, in between my move from that apartment, I did stay with my Auntie Karen for 2 months. And that 2 months of me living there, I did intravenous drugs as well. my Auntie Karen gave me my first shot of cocaine. And I was doing T's and R's, as well as Dilaudids. I am a thicker girl, but when I was done living with my Auntie Karen in that 2 months, I was very, very tiny. So I go from doing no drugs, nothing. I would drink, yes, but like doing nothing to all of a sudden full blown, I was doing everything. Okay. Now in that 2 months, I moved into that basement suite. My cousin lived above me. I lived underneath. My sister and my brother. My sister now got out of jail. Yes. And they were living like my house and my cousin's house, right? Like you were just kind of going back and forth. My sister's husband, Trevor, and that's my deceased sister, right? Her husband, he was a drug dealer. So I would do runs and stuff like that, okay? And I was seeing this really rich guy. He worked, back in the day, he worked on oil rigs. And now you guys know when I say like money orders, it was back in the day because we don't do that shit no more. We don't do money orders no more. But anyways, he was away working on the oil rigs, right? And he called me and I was like, oh, I need money. And I just wanted to get high. He didn't know I was getting high, right? He's like, oh, I'll go send you a money order. How much money do you want? I was like, I don't know, like 400. He's like, okay, babe. I was like, okay. You guys, I really, that was, when we think about life, the moments in life of like, are you going to live your good, fulfilling life, or are you going to go down a road of turmoil and torture? And I chose the turmoil and torture because Steve gave me everything I've ever wanted. You know what I mean? And he wasn't going nowhere. I mean, this guy was calling and texting on breaks, sent me money whenever the fuck I wanted it. I had the keys to his place and he lived in this beautiful, it was like a glass house. You know what I mean? It just was so nice. Big, right? And anyway, so he sent me money. So I went to Safeway and I went to go pick up the money. And I was wondering where my brother was. I was like, where's the stuff? He's like, I'm waiting. The shipment didn't come in. The person who was supposed to go pick up dope from Vancouver wasn't back. And we're worried. We don't know if they got caught or what, right? So I was like, fuck. He goes, go next door. There's this black guy. His name was Respect. And he did, honestly, like anything but respect, okay? Like just awful drug dealer, okay? He brought out a lot of darkness within me too, okay? Because I feel like there was even moments when I used my body with that person to get dope. You know what I mean? Like a lot of, the darkness was about to come, right? So anyways, I go over there and this is where my whole life changed forever. I go over there and there's somebody, I see his wife at the time. I said, and I don't want to say her name either, right? Where's so-and-so, right? I was just about to say his real name and I don't want to do that either. And she goes, in the room. So I go walk around the corner. Obviously I know where the room is because I've gone there to drop dope off and pick dope up before, right? So I walk around the corner and there is my baby daddy. So the drug dealer's right there. My baby daddy's right there. And he's like doing something with his crack pipe. Okay, now at this time, yes, I tried harder drugs, but I wasn't smoking crack. Okay, I would just do lines, right? Actually, that's not true. That week I was, because my cousin Devin lived above and it was him who I started doing that with. Smoking crack was with him. And I do believe that's the reason why, because I wanted to buy some, right? So anyways, I go there and I tell him, and I'm looking, as soon as I walked into the room, I can see my baby daddy, right? He's right there. And I'm like, everything you guys know, word of a lie, went quiet. My vision literally went like this. Here, I heard the highest like buzz without getting high, ringer right in my fucking ears, okay? And I'm looking and I'm like, And I need you guys to know right now, okay, he had windbreaker pants on, he had lugs shoes, he had like those old school windbreaker like sweater vest pocket in the front, jackets on. Okay, if you guys saw Steve, name brand everything from head to toe, okay? He dressed immaculate. Me and my sister, we might have been fast bitches, but we had good motherfucking taste, okay? G'd up from the feet up, always, okay? Him, complete opposite. Older shoes, you know, like you could tell he had them for a while. It's like he needed a new pair of shoes, but he kept them, you know. We were getting out of the windbreaker era and we were coming more into the like sweater, like sweats in hoodie era, right? Because I know windbreakers were a fucking thing back in the day. Believe me, I had my own. But I was like, right? Thinking in my head, but then I was so in love already. It was the most weirdest feeling. And he like, I was looking down and then I look up and we connect eyes and that was it, you guys. It was game over. I could not stop. The drug dealer's like, sis, hello? How much do you want? Hello? Like he's yelling at me, but I couldn't hear a fucking thing. I was just focused on my baby daddy. I was like, holy fuck, my heart literally skipped a beat, okay? So I go back to the house, I pick up my dope, I go back to the house, and then I start questioning my brother. I was like, who's that white guy over there? Looks like he has no teeth, but he does, and like he's skinnier, but like kind of like bigger, but skinnier. He's got a hat, like it starts with a K or something like that. And then my brother's like, oh, that's Kev. He's like, don't fucking go near him. I was like, why? He's like, no, he's not good. I'm telling you right now, no, Tanya, no. I was like, fine, right? He's like, let it go. Well, I couldn't. It's like a week, constantly in my dreams, constantly in my head. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, right? And then I'd walk out of my apartment and there he's walking out of the drug dealer's house, right? I was like, what the fuck is going on? Then him and his old lady, he had an old lady at the time, I guess they got into a fight, like, I don't know if she called in about his, what is that called, you guys? EI? So like his money didn't come in or something like that. And he was pissed off at her. She was trying to keep him in the vehicle and he ended up slamming her hand in the car door. All that commotion was going on there, right? And so whatever, that was like a headache and a half. And I'm like looking and I'm like avoiding and whatever. Because I'm not going to take somebody's man, right? I was like, whatever, that's their thing, leave it alone. But I couldn't stop thinking about this guy and my sister and my brother knew it. I was like, I don't know what it is, sister. I keep dreaming about him. And she's like, what the hell? And she's really thinking, she's like, that is weird, sis. That is weird. I was like, it's weird. I've never felt like this before. I feel like I'm going crazy. I was like, what is going on? So anyways, they ended up breaking up, right? And then my brother, Trevor, my sister's husband, was over at the drug dealers, like, because finally the shipment of the dope came in. So he went to go give him hard and went to go give him soft. And dope, right? And then somehow my name came up. Like, Kevin kept talking about me. And then Trevor said, okay, the two of you guys need to fucking, like, just go meet because she won't stop talking about you. That's all I fucking hear is your name and she doesn't even know you. And I'm just like, holy fuck. And now I'm hearing you. He like, go fuck my sister, he told her. Like, go see her. Go fuck her. Like, just shut her up, right? Literally. I was like, you fucking prick, right? I was like, you're a fucking prick, Trev. So anyways, I don't know what happened. He ended up, I don't know if he ended up getting his money. He went somewhere, but nonetheless, he didn't come over right away, right? So anyways, I had another friend. So Peter was at my house and we were drinking and we were planning on going out, right? And all of a sudden there's a knock on my door and I was like, hold on. So I go walk upstairs, open the door, and it was Kevin and his friend. I was like, what's up? He's like, hey. And I'm just standing there. He's like, can we come in? I was like, oh, yeah. And so they come in and my friend's there, right? And I guess they knew my friend, Peter. So they knew each other. And he's like, how do you know Peter? And blah, 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 blah. So anyways, we were just shooting the shit, right? Long story short, Peter ends up leaving. Kev and his buddy end up staying. We drink, we get high. He sleeps over, and then he never leaves. He never left after that. So we're together for about a month and a half. This Karen girl that he was with before was like harassing him and stuff, and he's like, fuck you, and they were done, right? We ended up going to his mom's, picking up his clothes. Another red flag, you guys, his mom's, he lived at his mom's, okay? Picked up his clothes, he came back to my house, and we were together. Then that bitch kept calling his phone, and I ended up seeing a message or something like that. And we're like 2 months in, because it's just before. So this is like August, September, October. October was, he calls that our, October 19th, he calls that our anniversary, right? Which is funny because it's a 10-10, which is a completion. So that's funny. So anyways, it was October 19th. We get into an argument and I'm like, fuck this bitch, fuck you, fuck that, get the fuck out, go. Right? And then boom, then another vision happened. He's packing up his shit. We're arguing and I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling off, okay? I was like, get the fuck out, go ahead. And then I'm standing in the kitchen. I'm like washing my hands off. All of a sudden that vision came. It showed me him standing at my shoulder. Push, babe, push. I can hear him telling me to push. And then, wah, my daughter. Okay. And then I got visions of us arguing and loving and laughter and trips. And like, I just got vision of our life. Right. And then all of a sudden I'm in the hospital room again. Push, babe, push. It's a boy. So I had the vision already, and it's funny because that's how our kids came out. A girl first and a boy. And I literally said that. I'm standing there and he's packing up his shit. He's like, fuck this. I ain't gonna start off like this. This is fucking stupid. 3 months in, you don't believe me, blah, blah, blah. Right? And then I'm standing at my door's like, babe. And he's like, what? Right? Because he wasn't listening to me, he kept picking up, and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. I was like, you can't go. You can't go. I'm sorry. Okay, I will trust you. I believe you, but you can't go. You can't go. You're going to fuck it up. You're going to fuck it up. You're going to ruin it. You have to stay. He's like, what? And I was like, you're going to give me my first daughter and my first boy. We're going to travel. We're going to do things together. We're going to love each other. We're going to get married. You can't go. You can't go. I'm sorry. You're right. I should trust you. There's no reason for me not to trust you. You're with me all day, every day. Like, there's no reason for me to not trust you, and I'm sorry. And then he just looked at me and he dropped his bags. And he came to the door and he hugged me and he kissed me. And he's like, you have to trust me. I was like, okay. Him and I were so good together. And it does break my heart that, you know, it was 21 years of bullshit. 21 years of just not being able to love me properly. It really, I know what I saw in my vision, but he just couldn't get it together. His ego and his pride was just awful. So for the next 20 years, we've had ups and downs. We've had incarceration. We've had the birth of our children. We've had, you know, engagement. He asked me to be his wife. But on top of all of the good, there was a lot of bad. We had infidelity. We had lies after lies after lies. We had other people who were jealous of our love, family members who were jealous of our love. We were in a world that just did not want to see us together. And he didn't want what I wanted. He didn't want that either. As much as we try and say the world didn't want us to be together, he didn't want us to be together just as much as the world didn't. And I took hit after hit after hit after hit. There was a moment in our relationship where this, you know, he got involved with some pretty dark people. And that is when my life fully changed, is when I realized that there was some type of black magic, voodoo shit going on. And I know a lot of you guys might say it's the drugs. It wasn't the drugs. I know exactly. There was mutilated animals at my house. And this is even before this house. This was at my house in Rosemont. There'd be rotten fruit placed at my back door. Anyone who knows Africans or hoodoo, voodoo, all that shit, these are all practices that you do to get somebody into a lower state in the mind, so then you can infiltrate them with the black magic, right? And my cats were warning me about it. And I told Kevin, I said, there's something funny going on. There's people who are around us that shouldn't be around us. I said, you know, you and I together were a force to be reckoned with. I really do feel like people don't want to see us happy. And I feel like these people who claim to be your friend, who he's selling drugs for, who he's taking off, getting his dick sucked every fucking other day from all these bitches, right? And my ass stuck with him and stayed with that, right? And as soon as I made a move towards a man, it was like, this fucking whore. I was just a whore, right? But he could get fucked and sucked and chucked all fucking day. But as soon as I made a move to do something, I was like just the worst possible seed ever, right? He would set me up, so many bad things, right? So anyways, I'm telling him about this, and he was agreeing with me, and then he went to jail and came home, and then all of a sudden he wasn't. All of a sudden now Kevin, from like sitting and getting high, is now this complete psychopath when he was getting high. Like, he would carry a knife with him. He was thinking that like demons were following him. He didn't trust anybody. Like, this guy used to call 911 on himself when he was high. And I was like, what's wrong with you, man? I was like, you know what that is? That is psychosis. Yes. I said, but what happens is when you get high, the shit that you've done when you were sober is coming to haunt you when you're high. I said, so what the fuck are you hiding from? Like, what are you afraid of? What is going on in your head while you're like that? I mean, I know people get crazy but this mother was like knife out and he like back against the wall, like someone's coming to get him. What the fuck did you do when you were sober while you're like that? Because that's what that means, right? I'm like, what the fuck? And then some of the stuff that he would think that I was doing to him, I was like, wait, are you telling me what you've been doing to me? Because you only think like that when you're capable of doing something like that. So then you think other people are going to do things like that to you. It was crazy, you guys. I almost got my kids taken away. I was drinking, I was partying, and in the midst of all of this, I was still losing family. I lost my Auntie Esther, I lost my Auntie Jerry, I lost my other Auntie Jerry, I lost my mom, I lost my sister. I mean, just all of this pain, and this man was never there for me. Like, he was fucking my friends, my family, my sister. Like, it's just so much, and I just never seen it all. And this is the point of me sharing my story, is so you guys see this darkness within your families and you guys save yourself from the hurt and the pain. That's why I'm sharing my truth, because I don't care about the picture that people are trying to paint of me. Paint whatever fucking picture you want. My truth is my truth, and I feel like I am at the part of my healing where I just need to speak it. Because there's a lot of people who walk around on this earth thinking that they are God and that they get to judge people, and nobody has that right. They can't. You don't get to judge people, right? And so all of this darkness is going on. I mean, him and my cousin Devin got into a fight. Kevin ended up smashing up my cousin Devin's car. I took him back. It was a lot of fighting, taking back. When I was pregnant with Nevaeh, he cut open my face. I have a scar underneath my makeup here. Had to get stitches. He came and cut open, like punched me in my face and cut my face open. And I was done with him. I told God I'm done with him. And then guess what? We were together for 4 fucking years. Not even a fucking pregnancy scare. Okay? Not even tell me the divine don't work. Man, I'm telling you, the divine does. 4 fucking years. I mean, I'm bareback in that motherfucker, and I'm telling you, that's one thing about Kev and I, is we love to fuck, okay? We were doing it in people's bathrooms. Anywhere I went, he was following right behind, and he could not resist this fat ass, okay? Every fucking time, pants down, we're doing it. Not one fucking time, not one pregnancy scare, not once. Okay. I'm done. My eyes shut, stitches. I was like, I can't take this no more. Him working away on the road. I'm hearing stories about him doing this, that, and the other. I'm not doing it no more. I'm not. I'm done. All of a sudden, I just feel terribly sick. Terribly sick. It is December 27th, the day of my birthday. I'm living at my mom's house because we moved out of that apartment. Obviously, Kevin hit me. He's gone to jail. I'm done. I'm done with him, right? So I move all my shit back home to my mummy's. I am 22, obviously 23 now, right? My birthday. My mom said to me, you go out, you party, my girl. Go ahead. But before you do that, we're going to the doctor. If you are carrying my grandchild, you're not going to do that. I was like, okay, perfect. I feel sick. We're going to figure it out right now. There's no way that God's going to give me a baby after this man just did this to me. I know we're done. I'm done. God knew I was done. Or was I? That vision that I had in my apartment when we're 3 months in of dating, right? When I saw him give me my first girl and my first boy. So me and my mommy, we go to the doctor. Go into the bathroom, because this is when they did them there at the doctor's office. Go into the bathroom. I take my pregnancy test. Go back into the waiting room. The doctor comes in and he hands my mom my prescription. He goes, congratulations, Grandma. And I'm looking and he's like, I gave your mom your prescription for folic acid and Materna. You're going to be a mom. I'm like, what? So my mom's crying. I'm crying. My mom's like, you'll be okay. You got this, my girl. You'll be fine. So now I have to tell him I'm pregnant. He's all like, because we weren't good, right? I wasn't fucking anybody. On my, like, Nevaeh is his. You know what I mean? And I know that's what he was thinking. That was the whole reason why he came and punched me in my face, is because he heard me at a house party. He got mad and I said, okay, I'll go home. So me and Raven, a girl, went back to my apartment. We were just sitting there drinking. No men were there. But because he heard me at a house party and there was guys there, like, God forbid, so toxic, you guys. Like, now, if I could talk to younger me, if I could just talk to younger me. So now, I go home, right? I went home and he flies home from Saskatoon because he's like, this fucking bitch. So he calls, he's like, where are you? I was like, I'm at the apartment. He spider monkey crawls up the fucking pole, kicks open our patio door, comes in and hits me, looks around the apartment. He feels so fucking stupid. There's nobody there. He thought I was there with someone. Nonetheless, I tell him I'm pregnant with Nevaeh. He keeps calling me from jail. He's saying he's sorry. He loves me. He pled guilty to it. He's doing his time because he knew, like, he could not plead guilty, right? So he was to get out, like, 6 months probation he got or something like that. Like 6 months serving and then probation. So he got out right when I was, like, right pregnant, right? He was there for the birth of our baby. So I think he got out when I was like 7 months, 8 months. Yeah, because it wasn't long at all. And then all of a sudden he was home from jail, and then all of a sudden I was having a baby, right? Well, it didn't take long after that for him to bring drugs back in. And it was him every time. I don't give a fuck what he says. It was him every fucking time that brought drugs back into our life. Every fucking time. And he will not deny it. He won't deny it face to face because I'll punch him right in his fucking lips. So the dope comes back in. I'm probably like 5 months, like, after having baby. I got high twice, but he was like, again, you guys, taking off on me. I'm at home with a newborn baby. I didn't feel right in my spirit because my mom didn't raise a dumb bitch, to, like, do drugs and, like, take care of my kid. Like, I can't do that, right? So again, there was a lot of fighting, a lot of me kicking him out, a lot of him and his family was so ignorant. Like, oh, Tanya kicked him out again. Oh, Tanya kicked him out again. And they never ever sat and asked why, like, what's going on, right? And I will forever, like, they are who they are. Like, I can't be mad at them. When people show you who they are, you just believe it. You know what I mean? I can't even be mad. And I'm not going to talk shit about them, right? Because nonetheless, at the end of the day, I still do love them. Anyways. So, as that time went on, I just realized, like, I can't keep living like this. And so my mom comes over and she talks to him. And, you know, he told her he was going to be good. And it was good for a little bit. And then one night we got high again. And I didn't like that. So the next day I was like talking to him and we were cleaning out the bedroom and like, you know, try not to, because anybody who knows crack cocaine, you like just fall into a weird depression, right? Like, ugh. So I'm like cleaning my room and there's a pregnancy test there. And Nev's sitting on the bed with her dad. He's like, I do want different, babe. I do. I was like, then why don't you? It's like he would tell me what I wanted to hear, but he never ever did do better. He never went to counseling, never did nothing, right? And I see a pregnancy test in there. Now, I remember from last week being on the phone with my mom, I was like, she's not taking my breast milk no more. Mom's like, you better not be doing that shit. I was like, I'm not, Mom. She's like, maybe it's the cigarettes. She goes, or you're pregnant, because that's when your milk changes, right? And so I was like, I'm going to go piss on this. I'm not going to throw it out. Like, that's $20. Right? Pregnancy tests, they're fucking expensive. I was like, that's like $20. I'm not going to just throw it out. So I went to go pee on it, right? And I continue cleaning and we're talking about how we want better and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, Kevin's holding baby and they walk to the bathroom and he grabs it and his eyes are huge. And he looks like, almost like see-through Casper, like so white. You know what I mean? I was like, what? What? And he throws the piss stick at me. And I was like, what? I just start bawling again. You guys, if I wouldn't have took that piss test, I would have been that girl who didn't know they were pregnant. I was 7 months pregnant. As soon as Kevin could get me pregnant, he got me pregnant. It was the AC/DC concert he went to with his brother-in-law. He came home because he wrote it on the calendar. He goes, babe, it says boning day. I start laughing. I was like, no, it's not. He's like, yeah, it does. It's 6 weeks. And he's all drunk and like, I'm telling y'all, he looked so cute, all drunk, singing, talking to me about the AC/DC concert. Like he just lit up. Like that little boy inside of him was just so excited, right? I was like, okay, let's do it. It's okay, right? We ended up doing it. And I'm like, Kev, you can't, like, I don't want to get pregnant, right? So anyways, whatever. We both thought we were, you know, the pull-out. How many pull-out babies do we have? Too many. So whatever, right? I didn't think anything of it. Obviously, we continued to sleep with each other, but obviously it didn't work. I'm trying to think. We totally did. I don't think that we have ever used protection ever. I think I had an IUD in after Kingston. Yeah, I did. After Kingston, I learned my lesson. But anyways, nonetheless, there we were. I was 7 months pregnant with a baby who's not even 1 yet, right? And I'm 7 months about to have another baby. My kids are the same age for 1 month. So Kingston's going to be turning 15 in July, and Nevaeh will be turning 16 in August. So for the month of July until Nevaeh's birthday in August, they are the same age. So I have Irish twins. I think that's what they're called. So nonetheless, we have Kingston. So now Kingston's born. Well, the whole time, lo and behold, while I'm fucking carrying his children, or child, taking care of the other one, he's off fucking bitches, one of my sister's friends, doing whatever the fuck he wants to do and just leaving me and my kids at home. We end up getting to a scrap because I'll knock a fucking guy out. I don't give a shit. I have bad temper. Yep. And we got into a fight. He ends up like wrecking the house and like he just got too worse. Like as if you have to get that worse while the kids are right there. Right? So anyways, he ended up going to jail again. And so here I am raising these 2 kids by myself. And then I started doing drugs again. So no more babies. I went and got the IUD in. I was like, hey, you ain't fucking keeping me here. Because he liked that, right? When I was pregnant and he got to go run around, do whatever he wanted. So that quickly escalated of like resentment, him towards me because he was in jail, me towards him because I was raising these kids by myself. It just was two people who just had too much ego and too much pride, because I am telling you at that time, obviously, very much asleep, very much in my ego, right? One thing happened after another. You know, we moved here, we moved there. Kevin went to jail. My cousin Crystal passed away. And that is when I really knew there was something going on, like with my gifts. I knew the black magic that was going on with these people, these Africans. They were coming to my house and I ratted on them. I did. I went to the cops and I ratted on them. They were like storing dope in my house and I never knew. And they were like breadcrumbing me. And then Kevin was in jail and I knew that the cops would let my husband out on, this is what I'm saying when Kevin says I don't love him. I went across over all of my morals and values to snitch. I was a snitch for this fucking pink fucker. For him to ever say that I don't fucking love him, oh my God. I was like, Mom, I gotta get him home. And I don't even, it was Nevaeh. Nevaeh really loved her daddy, okay? She's like, I want my daddy, and she's crying, and I'm like, oh my God, what can I do? And then these fuckers are coming in my house, like almost trying to treat it like it was a trap house. I don't think so. So I was approached by a cop, and they knew that Kevin was in jail, right? And it wasn't on any assault charges. He was stupid. My baby daddy was a theft. Like, he was a thief, and he was good at it. Not from people either, from big stores, right? He got caught doing a really big run. Anyways, he was in jail for that. So I knew that he wasn't going to be home for Christmas. This cop came and approached me and said, well, that's your house. We could take away, you know how cops are, right? We could take away your kids. We could do this. We could do that. I was like, you ain't going to do shit. If you're going to do that, go take them away then. If you're going to do that, go in there and do that then. Don't try and threaten me that you're going to do that. I was like, if you know what's going on at my house, then what you would do is say, what can you tell us to get Kevin out of jail? Because I want my husband home. I'll give you information. I'll tell you exactly where the dope is. I'll tell you what days they come to my house to chop the dope. I was like, but you better get my husband out. I want my husband out. Well, that was the worst fucking idea, because he ended up going to my sister's house and they were probably fucking. You know what? Because he couldn't come house arrest. We did get him out with the information that I gave him. He got house arrest. But he had to spend it at my sister's house, which that was weird energy over there too. Because I was like, where's Sam? He's like, she's upstairs. And all of a sudden, 2 seconds later, she was on the phone. I was like, okay, if you were upstairs, that means you'd have to walk down. How are you so quick to get on the phone, right? It was weird. So anyways, he got out, and that's when our relationship got really strange after that. Like, those Africans knew what I did. And I feel like the black magic and darkness came down hard on me, right? Because they were mad. I fucked up their whole drug fucking shit that they do, right? The little secret society that they have. They use us light workers to get what they want. And then once we don't do what they want, they come down hard on us, because they know that Tanya Arnchild without drugs and alcohol is a fucking force to be reckoned with. Hence why these people keep throwing shit at me day in and day out, because they can't touch me. They can't touch me when I'm in this light, right? They can't use me for their malicious acts, like selling drugs, like tricking, like doing all of these bad things, right? They can't use me anymore. I was almost built my family houses, you know what I mean? Because of the energy that they took in from me. So in all of this, it was just a lot of ups and downs and a lot of drugs, and you know, I feel like all of the important things that I should have told you guys about that whole part, you guys know. And it was after my cousin Crystal passed away when my life again took another turn for the worst, right? But I'm gonna leave that for part 3, and I'm gonna do part 3 pretty damn soon. So that's the second half of my life, and the craziness and the things that I've endured. Me and my sister Patricia, you know, at the beginning of the story, her and I, we were just wild ones. I mean, we're like Thelma and Louise, cigarette in the mouth, fucking it was the roll down window cars, right? Buick, smoking cigarettes, fucking selling dope. Oh, it's just a crazy time. It's such a crazy time. But I'm excited to share more with you guys. I will be back again. I love you all. Take care.